Morning. I guess social medias. Uh, I'm taking a walk. I got up like at 6:30 this morning, which is my dream schedule to wake up. Dream time, right? And I don't always wake up at 6:30, but today was one of those days where I just couldn't sleep, and you know, um, I was thinking, might as well take 4 rounds around the block. So we have this neighborhood block that we walk around. So that's around like, so I think 2 miles is 2 rounds, around 2.5 is 2 rounds. So that should be around 4.5 miles. I haven't really kept track, but basically I'm trying to go for around 10,000 steps. If I can get 15, that would be like amazing. I haven't eaten anything, so I just got up, and this is sort of like a fasted state. And I'm gonna try to see how long, if I can actually do 4 rounds together. And yeah, so I have had an interesting week. So I haven't vlogged at all. So this is me vlogging on the go. Feels so awkward still to talk to a camera. So, um, but yeah, let's see. This week I did Brazilian Jiu Jitsu again, and this is my fourth time doing it. So my first time I did Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, I was just scared to go roll or go live, right? And then the second time, you know, this guy, the instructor was like, "Have you rolled before?" I'm like, "I don't know what rolling is." He's like, "Yeah, you have never rolled before, right?" So he's like, "Oh, go find this guy, he'll help you out." So I rolled, or basically went live with this guy, and he was showing me things, showing me some of the stuff. And basically what I've learned is people are really nice to you, especially when you're the new guy. So Saturday, so after a couple more rounds of this, I kind of got used to it. The first stigma I had to get over was being in jiu-jitsu or any sport, right? You have to be very close to other guys, but especially in jiu-jitsu, right? So like that was something I had to get used to. Um, but I got over that quickly. Now, the things I need to work on is just when I have nothing left in the tank, when I'm really, really tired, I have no stamina left, just trying to push through, right? And not give up, right? And then also, I'm a very nonviolent person, even though I'm taking jiu-jitsu right now. So, you know, when I feel like when I'm doing a move, I always feel like, am I hurting somebody, or, am I doing this wrong? So, you know, so I'm always like a little more cautious. So that's something I have to get used to too. But yeah, build my stamina and stuff. But yesterday I did cardio kickboxing, and then I went to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So I was already tired from cardio kickboxing. Went to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I was live rolling with somebody, and then I was just done. I was like, I'm done. And they're like, no, keep going. And I'm like, I don't have anything left. So when I was doing this with the coach, he was like, you can still talk, right? He was like, I was talking, I was like, I can't do this. He's like, then you can do this. So I was like, okay. But it's just, there's like, as you learn more things, you just have to get used to stuff. So anyway, in terms of work, I work in consulting. This week I've been on the bench, so I've been sort of networking with folks and trying to figure out what type of work I best fit in. So not a bad work week. So this coming next week, I have a couple of interviews within my company for different projects I'm on. So um, today, is church. So we go to church on Sundays, and usually, church. Usually we get up by like 9:10. We go to what you call it. We go to a Bible study, or what is this? Our small group class, and then we go to church. So by the time church is done, it's already 1 o'clock, you know. So you can imagine how fast a Sunday goes. And by the time you get home, and then you got a bunch of other chores, it's already the evening. And then you grab lunch, all of that stuff. Then you watch TV, and then it's already Monday. But yeah. So Sunday, almost half the day is already, you know, I like to think of things like things are already sort of predetermined, because there's like things that you know will happen, right? You're going to church on Sunday, you're going doing this, that. There's always things that are already sort of in the schedule. So anyway, but let's talk about TV shows. We've been into this TV show called Bon Appetit, Your Majesty. It's like so fun because it's about this Korean cooking show, but like it's basically about this 3-star Michelin chef in Korea, and she goes back to like ancient Korea, like in the ancient time, like ancient rule Korea, and she has to cook for this emperor who falls in love with her. So it's like a rom-com, drama, cooking show, everything you can ask for in one show. So it's called Bon Appetit, Your Majesty, and it's on Netflix. So if you're bored and want a cooking show that's also a rom-com, that's also a drama, go check that out. Yeah. What else? This, you know, the political landscape, I try to stay away from politics, is just nuts. So I'll talk about it a little bit. I saw something yesterday that you know, Trump was going to make H-1B visas like $100,000 per year per company. The impact of that is basically you're going to have fewer international workers, right? But the problem is there's already so many of us, so many international folks here, you know, fulfilling critical roles. So they would have to sort of offshore these jobs that are local to the US, right? That's what's going to be the impact, instead of the impact being they're going to hire more people within the United States. I think the impact is really going to be they're going to start offshoring these jobs that these people are really good. And the people, the top talent here is probably going to start leaving, going somewhere else. So anyway, I am so grateful I'm not in politics, because it's politics is like wrestling with the pig, you know. You wrestle with the pig and, you know, you both get dirty, but the saying goes, right? You wrestle with the pig, you both get dirty, but the pig likes it. So politics is one of those dirty games that I don't like to play, and I hate it. You know, just tell me what to do, or let's figure this problem out and we'll close the matter. You know, let's solve some problems. You know, there's no need for all this BS. So that's what I think. Politics is this game that we shouldn't even be playing, right? I mean, I feel like, you know, my take on it is, if there's a pothole on the street, right? It doesn't matter what if you stand for the blue party or the red party or the purple party, you know, fix the damn pothole. You know, yeah, fix the pothole. I mean, and you know, you can debate how the pothole should be fixed, and oh, you know, put this concrete or that concrete, but fix the pothole. I mean, you should be doing your job so good that people should not even think you're there. You know, just like the people that fix our streets, right? They get up so early, they fix it, and you don't even think about the roads being damaged. So, end of the day, politicians are supposed to be public servants. So, but you know, I just pray for this country. I really hope things turn around. Oh, yeah. In terms of health, this week I have, you know, been doing a lot. I work out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I did I worked out there, and then whenever I'm not working out, I'm going to the MMA gym, and I'm doing like some sort of cardio kickboxing, or jiu-jitsu or self-defense, right? All these things. So trying to just stay fit. And then this morning, I was blessed enough to get up early because I am taking this beautiful walk. I am at 3,000 steps already, and I'm already kind of feeling tired. But this is only my second round, so oh, the dogs are up. But yeah, I mean, what else? I'm doing some more inner work to find out what my purpose and calling is in my career and job. Yeah, it's always been a struggle for me. But life is not perfect, and I'm not called to be perfect. So I just am called to do my best every day, and that's what I'm gonna keep doing. So yeah, I've been honestly, yeah, I've been also thinking the concept of winning the lottery, right? In the game of life, if you're alive, you have won the lottery. I mean, literally, the chances of you being alive is 1 in 300 trillion, right? Your birth, the event itself, right? So 300 trillion, yeah. So you can look that up. But I also played the lottery this week. I lost. But being alive, being blessed, I've been blessed with a good family, friends. I wish I had more friends, but I'm sort of an introvert. I'm like an extroverted introvert, introverted extrovert. So like, if you reach out to me, I'll go hang out with you, we'll do something fun. But I'm not like calling people up and scheduling things, and I'm just not that person. I just go try to live a quiet life and do my thing. And if people choose to spend their like God-given time with me, I'm more than welcome them. So yeah, and I'm also very giving of my time as well. The one thing that can't be replaced on earth is my time. People are so focused on money, but they forget that once your time runs out, it runs out for real. There's no, money is made on a printer. So, everyone's chasing the dollars. They forget the time that they have here. But nothing wrong with capitalism anyway. Actually, all right. So one of my main gripes with capitalism this week has been, how can there be billionaires in the world, and how can there be little girls that are starving outside a mosque, right? If you look at it, like I went to Morocco, and there was a mosque, and there's this mom and a little girl sitting right outside. The mom was selling napkins, right? So I go up to her, and I felt bad. Like the little girl looked like she, needed help. So I was like, okay, let me go give, it was $1 for the napkins. Went and gave her 20, and I didn't take anything, or I might have taken one napkin or whatever. And as soon as I did that, the little girl started just crying, in tears. I mean, I see a $20 bill, and I don't really cry, right? But she hasn't eaten probably in days, and they're probably going through a lot, right? So how can there be a world where we go to church or go to whatever religious thing we go to, right? How can there be a world where we say we're righteous people, right? And we have these mega billionaires and rich people, right? And then there are little girls that are starving on the street, right? How can there be a world where there are kings with beautiful castles, and at the same time there are little girls that are brought into this world that are starving? You know, I think there's a flaw in capitalism. Capitalism works. You know, there's the Ferengi way of capitalism of, you know, I collect a lot. Then you can have capitalism with a heart. You can go out there and help people, give, you know. But I don't think the world really, you know, doesn't have, I think, you know, the world is missing heart. You know, that's the problem with the world. You know, everyone's chasing power, right? Everyone's chasing clout, you know, fame. Everyone's chasing all this stuff, but their hearts are missing. You know, what makes, this is the other question I've been contemplating this week, right? What makes God a God, you know? If I brought God down from the heavens and I gave you his power, should I kneel before you and call you my Lord, right? And then if I strip God and give you his wisdom, should I kneel before you and call you my Lord? Now if I strip God, but if I only keep the Lord's heart with him, the first two things that you have taken from him will mean nothing. Sure, you can perform miracles. Sure, you have all the answers of since the beginning of time and space. Sure, you're omnipotent, whatever, but you are missing the heart of the Lord. I will worship the heart of the Lord over the first two things. You know, people worship God and treat him like a vending machine. You know, hey, you know, God, I need this, I need that. You know, they treat him like a vending machine. So, and when you don't get those things, then you are disappointed. But I think what people are missing on this earth is the heart, is the love of God. You know, is that those things that are untouchable. And I think that's what's wrong with the world. You know, for crying out loud, Putin goes to church, right? But, you know, he's killing his neighbor. Thou shalt love your neighbor. Yeah, one of the main teachings of Jesus, right? Killing his neighbor. You know, I mean, I don't know how people justify this stuff, but I honestly think what's broken about the world is people just don't have the heart. You know, the world wants more babies, but it's so cruel and wicked that, you know, how can you welcome a child in a world that doesn't even know, doesn't show or represent love? How can you tell a child that the world is fallen when it was our generation's duty to make sure that the world doesn't fall to the chaos it did? You know? Yeah. So I think that's what's wrong with the world. People just don't have hearts of love. They want to hate each other. They want to do all these crazy things. And I think that's what's broken about the world. So, you know, every morning when I get up, I try to pray, and I do 3 prayers. I do the Serenity Prayer, I do the Lord's Prayer, and then what I think I try to do is just have a relationship with God. You know, I tell him I love him, and I tell him, you know, just try to say good morning and try to have a relationship with God. And even then, there's nobody on the other side that's talking back to me. You know, I'm giving him praise and thanking him for another day, you know, the gratitude. So I think honestly, that's what's also missing from the world. But, you know, I think you don't have to be religious. You just have to love with your heart. You know, obviously there's scammers and there's a lot of bad people in the world, but I think the world can be has so much potential to be a much better place if it didn't have and didn't have people with hearts of stone. So, you know, anyway, I wish I had all the answers, and I really don't. But, I think all you can do is get up and, try to do your best every day. Try to be a better person. Try to be a better, you know, try to be a better um, individual. Have a relationship with yourself a little bit. Go for a walk. I'm doing a walk right now. You know, you think about things. There's a lot of stuff thrown in our day. That's just a crazy day, right? Find a little spot and go for a walk, and find some peace. Yeah. If you're able to walk, I know this is also a gift that I'm able to walk as well. Not a lot of people have feet and can walk, but if you're able to walk and you're blessed with that gift, go use it. Yeah. I I have a lot of questions about the world, but the world rejoices when babies are made, but the world refuses to fix what's broken with it. Again, I'll say that again. The world rejoices when kids are made, but the world refuses to fix what's wrong with it. The world refuses to fix what's broken. It's all said like, oh, we're just a fallen world. So what? Can't you do better? Can't you do better? That's the truth. I mean, it's like we give up on that excuse of, oh, we're just in a fallen world, but we can do better. We can do better. Help fix it. You know, I'm a broken person too. I'm just another broken person trying to do my best today. We're not perfect. We're not called to be perfect. So anyway, again, there's nothing wrong with having billionaires in the world. Okay, I'm not saying that, right? Because some people work for what they have, and it's okay, right? But what is the wrong is people that have a lot are not willing to give. So it's like they have so much, but they are not willing to do more or give more, right? That's what's the problem, right? And it's our culture too. Our culture glorifies being rich, but when we all die, we know money is it's a construct from a printer. The only value that you actually have on this planet is your time. Once that thing runs out, it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. So anyway, I mean, yeah. So anyway, all I want to do is say, just try to be better people. I think there's a Mother Teresa's quote of, if you want to change the world, bring that change to your family. Be a better mom, be a better dad. Be better in your community. Be an example. And I think that's all we can do. So, try to inspire people. So try to be inspired. So, well, this is a lot of talking, and I'm on my third round. So, I will bless you with close you out with the Serenity Prayer, which I already prayed, but I will pray and then we'll close it out, close this vlog out. So here we go. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change the things I can, have the wisdom, and have the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. And you guys watching this, if you made it to the very end, you're freaking awesome, man. Or you have a lot of time. But bless you, bless your day, and may fortunes be upon you with a lot of love and time. Amen. Well, not amen, but bye.